I think that's the fundamental claim of the folks at Chernobyl Children's Initiative, and the justification for, again, a lot of the great work they do in terms of setting up orphanages, building up social services within Belarus, and flying kids for vacations in wealthier countries. It is on the premise that, most of these congenital abnormalities are as a result of transgenerational effects. So can we touch on the science behind that and what the best literature is telling us?
Yeah, this was a whole genome sequencing project. So basically looking for any little change you can possibly find in the DNA. And what they had was triples. So they had 3 blood samples, one from the mother, one from the father, and one from children. Sometimes they had more than one child if they'd had more than one child in the family. But basically either the mother or the father, and occasionally both, but it was usually mother or father, had been exposed to much higher levels than the general population had been, because they had been cleanup workers in the Chernobyl nuclear plant. So dosimetry enables you to work out exactly what the dose was to the gonads, to the testes in the man, or the ovaries in a woman, and they then sequenced, so took the whole genome, sequenced the mother, father, and child, and looked for changes that were related to the radiation dose. So obviously, the higher the dose, you would expect to see more. They couldn't find anything. They couldn't find any changes related to radiation. They could find changes that were related to the age of the father at the time of conception and whether the father smoked. But they could not find anything related to the to exposure of the parents, who then subsequently had children. Could not find any relation to that, to mutagenesis in the child. So that shows you, this is something that we know from other studies. This is not surprising. Even after the atomic bombs, there was no increase in gestational issues with people who had been exposed and then subsequently went on to have children. There were some instances where people had been exposed while pregnant and living in, very, very close to the epicenter, which resulted in largely neurodegenerative condition and things like that. But there were very few cases, because they had to be extremely high doses, which means the mother had to be able to survive the extremely high dose to give birth to the child later.